All right, so for tonight's team call, I want to talk to you guys about belief. And this is something that I've been sort of just thinking about a lot recently. As I've been doing a lot of personal development, it's kind of been coming up over and over again. And that's a little sign to me that this is something that I want to talk about. And I wanted to actually do something a little different. Normally I have a lot of content that I want to share with you guys, and I love doing that. But this week I wanted to get a little more personal and kind of share with you guys my story and my journey when it comes to belief, and how sort of I've gone from being someone who really didn't believe in myself at all to where I am today. And I know that I still need to grow from where I am today, but I've come a long way. And so I wanted to share a little bit of my story with you guys tonight, which is not what I normally do. So I have always been sort of, did well in school, always been, whatever I would try, would usually do pretty well at, but would never be great, if that makes sense. So always like pick things up kind of quickly, but never really, always fall short of like the really big success, if that makes sense. Even in second grade, I was tested to like be in whatever this gifted program, and it's like just under where the gifted program was. And so it was always like, yeah, I don't have to work super hard to pass classes, but I would never feel like I was really reaching my full potential and really pushing myself to my limits. And because of that, I don't know if you guys realize this, but over and over again, you're constantly sort of not following through on what you wish you could. You're reinforcing in your mind that you can't. I can't really be great. I can't really be successful. Yeah, maybe I'll sell a few challenge packs and I'll hit Success Club here and there, but I can't really be like a full-time income maker. I can't really like reach thousands of people, maybe 10 or 15 or 20, but not really be successful. And that mindset has followed me throughout my entire life. And what it's done for me is kept me from really trying, because in my mind, I've already decided that I'm not going to really reach those goals that I want to. So I've let myself stay in my comfort zone of, well, I'm not doing horrible, but I'm not reaching. I'm not really fulfilling what I feel like I could if I really pushed myself. And the missing piece is belief that I can. So when I started coaching, I felt like I kind of fell into that same thing, right? I did not hit Success Club my first month as a coach. I hit Success Club 4 instead of 5. Once again, like I got points, but I didn't hit Success Club. It was just under. And that's just been the story of my life. And even month 2, hit Success Club 4 again, did not hit Success Club 5. And so was going into it feeling like, is this just going to be another one of those things where I kind of get my hopes up because I could kind of do it, but am disappointed in the end because I didn't fully get to the goals that I wanted to. So I kept at it though. My 3rd month, I did finally hit Success Club, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. My belief is starting to grow just a little bit, but didn't hit Emerald for, maybe like 4 or 5 months because I didn't believe I could. I thought, that's crazy. I don't know why, but I just had that mindset of, that's crazy. I'm not going to hit Emerald. It's going to take me forever to hit Emerald. Maybe 6 months in I can hit it. And then same thing with Diamond. I didn't hit Diamond until almost a year into my coaching career. And, my first couple of coaches would be in it for a week and then would cancel and then would ghost on me and would disappear. And I felt like, well, I can sign a few coaches, but I can't really train them. Again, just that kind of, but not really. Sort of seeing some success, but never fully making that leap and that tipping point to what I would really hope for my business. And I remember clearly as day, I was listening to a podcast of the National Wake Up Call. And if you struggle with belief, I highly, 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 highly recommend that you listen to as many National Wake Up Calls as you possibly can. Yes, the tips are great, but what I remember are the stories of each coach who is sharing. And, to be on the National Wake Up Call, you're the bomb coach already, right? But they always share where they were at before coaching and how they came into coaching and how they got to where they were at, how it's changed their life. And you hear these stories of, high school dropouts and people who struggled with addiction and stay-at-home moms with no college education and no sales background and all these like super ordinary, like you can see yourself in them. And then you look at where they are now. And I remember clear as day, I was listening to a National Wake Up Call with Lindsay Stay, who was one of the Bombshell Dynasties. She's a 15-star diamond. She's incredibly successful. And I remember listening to her National Wake Up Call, and she was sharing about where she was at beforehand. And I just remember thinking, she's no better than I am. And like, not in like a prideful way of like, oh, she's no better than me, but just like my eyes were opened where I was just like, there's really nothing, there's no reason why I can't have that same success that she has. There is nothing, she's not like more gifted or more intelligent or has more, resources. If anything, she had less than I did because she didn't have really a support system. She didn't have parents who support, who were around. Her mom was not around. Her dad, she never knew. Like, if anything, I have more things stacked in my favor than she did. And yet she was able to make it. Why not me? And that was a huge turning point when I realized that the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is simply work and belief. And the reason why I feel like belief is a missing piece is because I was doing the 3 vitals before I listened to that call. And I kept doing the 3 vitals afterwards. But they were so different from that line in the sand moment when I realized there was nothing different between me and a 15-star diamond coach except for time and work. That was the only difference that kept me from where I was now to be where they are now. And so that was really a big turning point for me. And then as I went to different Success Club trips, I would hang out just at the pool with, I was hanging out with Bonnie Engel. And I don't know if you know Bonnie Engel, but right now she's number 2 in the company. And at that point, she was like number 5. And we were hanging out in the pool, and she was sharing her insecurities, and she was sharing how she's freaking out because she doesn't know how she doesn't know what she's doing. And I just realized, like, again, there is no difference between me and this girl. She's not some superhuman. She doesn't know some secret, whatever. She just works. I mean, I know Bonnie, she works 12-hour days. Okay. So maybe I can't work 12-hour days because I've got 4 kids, but her 12-hour days made her get there in 2 years. So maybe my 4 or 5-hour days will get me there in 4 years, but I can still get there. I can still reach those goals that I've set for myself. There is no difference between her and myself. And, I remember having conversations with Becca, with my coach, and she would just continually be building up my belief. And I was like, but no. Tell me what I need to do. Tell me the tricks. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, this and that. She's like, no, you know that already. Like, this business is simple. Don't overcomplicate it, which is like my biggest thing that I always do is overcomplicate it. She's like, you know all that already. I don't even want to talk to you about that. I just want you to know that I believe in you and that you need to believe in yourself and that you have what it takes and that it's in there. You just need to believe and let it out. And I read this quote that just reminded me so much of those conversations that we would have. And it's, a coach pulls something out of you that already exists. So guys, my job as your coach is not to make you into something that you're not. It's to pull out of you what already exists inside of you. Every single person on this call and every single person who's going to watch this call, You have it inside of you already. You have the love. You have the intelligence. You have the work ethic. You have, the creativity to find a way when what you're doing isn't working. You just find another way. That's all inside of you. And my job as your coach, and what Becca did for me, was just pull it out. It already exists, though. And you have to believe that it already exists. Otherwise, you're going to go through the motions, but it's not going to have the power behind it. If you don't have the belief, it's not going to have the power behind it. So let's do like a tale of two business owners is what I'm going to call this. So let's take a look at two different business owners. And the first business owner, they're both doing the exact same business. Let's say that they are both running a bookstore, okay? They open up their bookstore. They put a lot of effort into it. The bookstores are great. They're beautiful. One owner doesn't really believe that they're going to be successful. Or maybe they're hoping, but they're really doubting that they're going to be successful. And constantly in their mind, this is what they're telling themselves. Gosh, did I set up those books right? Maybe I picked the wrong books. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Maybe people aren't going to see my bookstore. I just don't think that this is going to work. What if, I hire the wrong people? What if, whatever? So all of that doubt is manifesting in all of these thoughts. And you know what's happening? That business owner is wasting energy. We all only have a certain amount of energy that we can give to our life. That owner is wasting energy worrying about all the things that are going to go wrong, doubting, second guessing, trying to figure out, maybe I need to figure out a different way to put the books together, this and that. Then there's the other business owner, the one who believes that they're going to be successful, that there is no other option. We are going to make this work. If we start doing something and we don't get a lot of people in here, then we just do more and we do it harder and we put more signs out and we put out more flyers and we come up with a cool way to get people in. Free coffee if you come into our bookstore and browse our books, or whatever. That other business owner has a can do, will do, must do, no options. I know, and the only reason that they say that is because they know that they have it in them. They believe that it already exists within me. I just need to pull it out. I just need to get it out, and I will be successful because I have no other option. And an amazing example of this, and I don't know how many of you have children, and if you do, have husbands who travel, but I was talking to some of my coach friends who their husbands are in the military, and they're on deployment for months at a time, sometimes years. And, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when my husband is around, I'm like, oh, I can't handle bedtime. Like, I just can't, can you take the kids? I just can't. And when your husband is traveling or on deployment, even if you feel like you can't, you still do it because you have to. And deep down, I can put the kids to bed no matter how tired I am, I can put the kids to bed by myself, right? Because there's no other option. Right? You can't hand it off to your spouse. They're not there. So you dig deep and you figure it out. And if something breaks, you figure out how to fix it. And, when your spouse is there, or you have your parents or whoever's helping you, you do feel like, oh, I can't, because you kind of have that backup and that safety net. When that safety net is gone, you just find a way because you have to. And it's the same with coaching and with building your business. If you go into it with that mindset of, I can do this because I have to do this, because I'm not going to give myself a backup plan, because I'm not going to say, oh, at the first month that I don't hit Success Club, oh, I'm not meant for this. I'm out. I can't do this. I knew it. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this. I knew that, I'm not, all that's going to do is just be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you have belief in yourself and you say, what if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was going to take you 5 years, but at the end of those 5 years, you would be a 10-star diamond coach making, $10,000 a month. All right. What if you knew for sure, like you had a magic ball and you could see into the future and you knew the date 5 years from now, that's where you would be. No questions asked. How would you work your business today? How would that affect what you did today? I don't know about you, but I would invite with more confidence. I would put in the hours without even questioning. I would do what it takes because I'm like, well, I know it's going to pay off. I know it's going to work. I know it's going to happen. And, we don't have that guarantee, but if you in your heart believe that it's going to happen, and that's why writing out your goals, visualizing, what is it going to feel like? What is it going to be like when I go into my bank account and there's no debt? Zero. I don't owe anyone anything. Like, how would that feel? How, would that lift this weight off your shoulders? How would it feel if my husband didn't have to go to travel and do this stuff that he doesn't really want to, but he has to because there's no other job and there's no other way? Like, how would it feel if you had every weekend together to build memories with your kids? Like, visualizing that and deciding and believing that that's what's going to happen. It's not that there's some magic in just believing it and putting it out into the universe. The magic is how it influences your actions. So if you have no belief, your actions have no power. Like that bookstore owner, what is that bookstore owner going to do differently than the other one? The one who has no belief, his actions are going to look so different from the one who has belief. He's going to be cautious. He's going to overthink it. He's not going to be as aggressive. He's not going to be as confident in how great his bookstore is. And which bookstore are people going to flock to? Which bookstore is going to be successful? It's not that either bookstore owner has more talents than the other. No circumstance is different, simply their belief. And their belief is what influences their actions. And I see it all the time with new coaches. When they come into it and they just are like, I don't think this is going to work for me. They can barely even get through the training because they're already doubting themselves before they even do one thing for their business. Just going through the training, they're like, oh my gosh, Success Club and this and that, and I don't think I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. But if you go into it like, okay, this is not a complicated business. I'm a smart person, relatively, I can figure things out. There's always Google if I don't know. So I'm going to get there. Let's go. Let's do this, right? What so different those two coaches and the success that they're going to have. The only difference, the only missing piece is belief. If you believe it's in there, it exists. I just need to pull it out. And that might take time. And that might take trial and error. You're going to mess up. You're going to fail. You're going to try things and be like, well, that didn't work. Let's try something else. But underneath it all, if you have that belief, then your actions will reflect that. And those actions are just going to multiply and attract and be that positive energy and be that can do, will figure it out because I'm going to make this work. I'm going to put the kids to bed tonight because there's no one else. You find that depth of courage, that depth of resilience when there's no backup plan, when there's no plan B. I got a free 30-minute conversation with a life coach from Tony Robbins. And so I was talking with her about my goals. I was talking with her about my insecurities and my lack of belief. And she was like, okay, so what if Beachbody doesn't work out for you and your family? Like, what if it doesn't end up doing what all your goals that you have lined up? And there's just silence. And I was just like, what are you talking about? That's not an option. I won't stop until it works out. There's no, I don't understand your question. There's no, what if it doesn't work out? It is going to work out because why not? Why not me? I can work hard. I can build this. If I make a mistake, I'll learn from it. There's so much training out there, ridiculous amounts of training. All I have to do is sit there, listen to it, take notes, apply, repeat. Sit there, listen to it, take notes, apply, repeat. Learn from my mistakes. Go at it again. It's a new month. Try again. I didn't hit Success Club last month. Why not? Change my actions, do better. Like, that's all it is. And I think we get frustrated that it's a struggle and that it doesn't come overnight, and we don't want to be patient, and we let that chip away at our belief. And that's when the downward spiral starts to happen. But at the end of the day, guys, you are no different than Lindsay Matway. Truly. She just worked really hard. She believed in herself. She tried and failed and tried again and failed and just didn't give up until it worked. Didn't give up until she found what worked for her. And if we're willing to do that, then there's no reason. There literally is nothing different between us and her. And I know that that's hard to understand, but the only thing that's different is just that personal development, because when she started this business, she was a different person than who she is today, right? So Lindsay Matway of today is like Lindsay Matway 4.0, right? But she was Lindsay Matway 1.0 when she started, and she just invested in personal development and grew herself and learned more and kept going and made mistakes. And do you see what I mean? Like, there's no different. Successful people and unsuccessful people, they're not born with some special thing. It really is just belief and hard work. Belief and hard work. And that's why personal development is so important. Because guys, I'm not your personally sponsored upline for everyone here, but for those of you who I am, like, I'm going to bring out of you what already exists, but I can't be there to give you a pep talk every time those demons come in. And that's where personal development is, where you have to take your own, just like with workouts, like I can't work out your body for you so that, you get stronger or whatever. You have to do that for yourself. I can give you the program, and then you have to do that for yourself. And it's the same with personal development. You're working out your mind, your mental strength. And I can't do that for you, but if you're in personal development, you're going to do that for yourself. Personal development is your workout for your own brain and your own mental strength. And that's why personal development is so important. And that's why success partners are so important, because you need those people when you have those doubts to be like, hey, you're the shit. Like, you can do this. You're just in a funk. Like, let's go. Let's keep going. So, all right, my favorite personal development book for belief. That's a great question. I don't think I've read a personal development book for belief. Well, You Are a Badass is good. Is really, really good. Yeah, I would say that one. There's also a Tony Robbins one called Unleash the Power Within. I have not read it, but I have gone through a lot of his seminars, and that's really where I've learned a lot of this. But also, I would say The Slight Edge and The Compound Effect, in the sense that they show you how ordinary successful people are. And that was a big stepping point for me as well, is to be like, oh, so like ordinary people like me can be super successful if we just do disciplined things every day. And it was a light bulb to me. Because you see great success, you imagine, well, they must have done some pretty great things, and I don't know what that would be. How do you build a business? I don't know. But then when it's broken down into like small steps, and you're like, oh, they just did those small steps like over and over again until they got where they wanted to go. I can do that. That helped me a lot with belief. It looks like there's a few other suggestions here for personal development books. Alicia asked, what are success partners? And that's a really good question. Success partners are coaches who are in the same sort of level of business as you are and who have the same goals. And that's really important, that you find success partners who have the same goals, because you may be like, I want to be a 10-star diamond making those $10,000 a month in the 5 years or 3 years or whatever. And then you may have a friend who's like, you know what, I just want to earn like maybe $500 a month, save a little, pay off some bills. I'm not looking to do this crazy. So you want someone who's like similar goals, similar place to you in the business. And it can look however you want. How it looks for me and my success partners, there's 5 of us. It doesn't always work that way. Usually it's like one-on-one or maybe a group of 3. But for us, it works that there's 5 of us. we have a WhatsApp group, and we check in with each other pretty much every day. At the beginning of the week, we share with each other what our goals are. If we're feeling like, I usually use it, this is how I use it, because I'm so bad. I need a kick in the pants like all the time. I usually tell them, like, guys, I don't want to get up at 5 in the morning, but I know I need to. So I'm telling you, I'm going to get up at 5 in the morning, and I'm going to check in when I do. And so when I get up, when I hear that alarm, I'm like, crap, they're waiting for, like, they're going to know if I didn't do it, if I didn't follow through. And that's just what I set up for myself to keep me accountable to what I want to do, because I don't feel like it. But if I know my success partners know that I'm going to do this, you know, it just gives me a little more push to do it. And then we like brainstorm about things. If you guys are in the TriWizard tournament that we've got going on, that was like a little brainstorm between me and my success partners of just how to be better leaders. You know, everybody has different strengths. So if you've got some success partners who are really creative, maybe you're really like good at tracking and like spreadsheets, you know, you guys can kind of help each other out and be stronger and better together. So if you are in the TriWizard tournament, that's a great place to find some success partners, because I know that, you know, sometimes you're just in our team. Maybe you find someone in our team. That's awesome. Maybe you're like, I don't know, I don't really find anybody who I feel like I click with, but the TriWizard tournament's 3 different teams. Maybe you find someone who you're like, hey, I really like her. She's so cool. You know, she seems like she's going places. I want to hook up with her, whatever. You just reach out and form a little group. So that's what success partners are, and they're really helpful for this area of belief, because sometimes you do need somebody to just kind of say, you got this. Don't, you know, let's not stop the pity party, get to work, let's do this, you know, whatever your style is. Maybe it's tough love, maybe it's not, but it always helps to have that. So yeah, having that belief that there's no other option is a huge, that there's no backup plan is a huge difference maker for seeing that success in your business and being able to push past those limits, because we all have that limit of our comfort zone, right? Like, okay, I'm willing to work the business, but only if like I can still watch Grey's Anatomy at the same time. Or yeah, I'm willing to watch my business, work on my business, but you know, I am not getting up before my kids. Like, I need to sleep as much as possible. You know, so we all have those like comfort zone levels. And then we all have that moment when, if it really is, there's no option. Are you, you know, that's when you're like, well, I got to make this work. So I'm setting that alarm clock a little earlier. Or, you know, Grey's Anatomy, okay, like, do I really need more drama in my life? You know, maybe I can cut that out and I can work on my business instead, or work on my business during the commercials, or whatever, you know, but you find that you're more willing to make sacrifices when the reward and the drive to achieve those goals is greater. You're willing to do more sacrifices for it. And really, honestly, for me, my limiting beliefs that I can't ever really be successful, that I'm never going to really reach those, you know, upper levels of success or whatever, that was actually my way of giving myself an excuse for not doing the hard work. That was my way, and I'm not saying that's how it is for you, but for me, that was my way of being like, you know what? I'm not going to answer those messages tonight. I'm just going to watch a show, go to bed early, because, you know, I'm never going to be that successful. So, you know, these people are probably going to say no to me anyways. Why am I going to answer them back? You know, like, and just giving myself that excuse to not really work hard, because yeah, I'm never the one. I'm never the top of anything. You know, I'm never going to be whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, I definitely won't be if that's my attitude. You know, I definitely won't be if I'm gonna throw in the towel before I even get in the game, right? Like, it's like, I don't know if you guys do this, but I try to like calculate, well, can I win? And if not, then I don't really want to play. I mean, that's just me. I'm a Ruby. I'm very competitive. So it's like, if I can't win, I'm not going to play. But that's where that belief, it's like, I don't believe I can win. So I'm not going to bring my A game. I'm not really going to make sacrifices. I'm not really going to go all in, because I don't believe I'm actually going to win. But if you believe, if you're like, I'm going to win, I've got it in me, I've got everything in me that's required to win, then it's like you're in the gym, you're working hard, you're gonna hit that game day with so much energy because you're like, I can win this, and I'm gonna give it all I've got. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to be successful, is just that belief. It's not intelligence. It's not a special magical skill. It's not any of that stuff. It's simply belief is the missing piece. Belief is what makes that tipping point, that difference. And also, guys, what you focus on expands, right? I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience where, you buy a new car, all of a sudden you see that car everywhere. Has that ever happened to you guys? It's like all of a sudden, or you get a new haircut and then you see everybody has that same haircut or whatever it is. So the way our minds work is there's so much stimulus all around us. We can't possibly focus on everything, right? Our brain prioritizes what we're focusing on at any moment. But if what's on your brain, like even, you can try this if you're just taking a walk, like focus on a certain color, like red, red, red. As you're walking, you're going to see every single red thing on the path. They were always there. It's just you weren't focusing on that because your brain can only focus on a certain number of things at a time. And so whatever you focus on is going to expand. It's going to fill your vision. It's going to be what, whatever becomes your reality. Even though it was always there all the time, it's going to become greater to you. And, hurdle runners, when they're running, they're not supposed to focus on the hurdle. Because if you focus on the hurdle, your foot's going to hit it every time. You've got to focus beyond the hurdle, where you want your foot to land. And it's the same thing with our business. If you focus on the difficulties, the obstacles, the problems, the weaknesses that you have. Well, I'm not a very organized person. I don't know that many people. I'm not really good at communicating. I don't take great pictures. If you're focusing on all those things, that's going to expand. That's going to be all you see. And you're not going to write great posts. You're not going to, like, all those things that you're focusing on that you don't want to do, just by focusing on them, you're going to do them. You're going to do them more often, Oh, I don't want to offend anybody. Well, you're going to offend people then. Whatever you're looking at, that's where you're going to go. And so my challenge to you is to dig deep and have that belief, even if you don't feel like it, and say, I'm going to find people. I'm going to learn how to make great posts. I'm going to find time to read my personal development. I'm going to, once you start focusing on what you do want to have happen, and the goals that you do have, amazing things happen. You find it. You find time. Just today, okay, I don't know how many of you guys are moms, but we're really busy and at the same time have a lot of pockets to do stuff in. And one of those pockets for me is when I'm sitting there waiting for my son to poop. Because he just sits there, and I'm like, okay, are you done? 5 more minutes. Okay, buddy. All right, 5 more minutes. And then I'll just sit there and I'm just like staring at him. I'm like, okay, are you done now? 3 more minutes. Okay. And, it seems silly, but today I actually really made a really detailed to-do list because I had a lot to do and I was freaking out. I was like, let me just make a list. And I got done a ton of stuff just standing in the bathroom waiting for my son to poop. He poops a lot. He did 3 times today. So it's crazy, but if I wasn't focusing on my to-do list and what I wanted to accomplish, those things, I would have just stood there in the bathroom like I always do, just staring at him and not even thinking about, oh, hey, I just added a new coach today. Let me make a little graphic to announce her coming into the team page. I did that standing in the bathroom on my phone while my son was pooping. And it's just that mindset of, I'm going to find a way. Yeah, I'm a busy mom. I don't really have much time. But if I'm focused on what I want to accomplish today, somehow, oh, hey, I never thought of this before, but maybe I could just do it right now. You find solutions when you're looking for solutions. You find problems when you're looking for problems. So it really is. It's not a magical thing. It's just the way our brains work. Whatever you focus on expands. And having that belief causes you to focus on the positive. And when you don't believe, you focus on the negative. Again, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's just you can control, in one sense, where your direction is based on your level of belief. So anyways, that I did go a little bit long on the call. Sorry. That's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. I hope that it made sense. I know it was a little bit all over the place, but this really is, if you can work on any skill as a coach, and I call it a skill because it's something you can practice at and improve. So in my mind, I feel like belief is a skill that you can cultivate, that you can grow in. And I can tell you, I was not someone who had belief in myself at all. Like my big, huge, hairy goal was like to find 2 people, and but you can grow at it, and as your belief grows, your success is going to grow. So if you're focusing on gotta find people, why am I not finding people? I'd say stop that. If you're hitting your head against the wall, stop that and say, I've got to believe in myself more. How can I believe in myself more? Do I need to surround myself with more positive people? Do I need to read more personal development? Do I need to just smile more? Sometimes just the act of smiling can lift your mood and help you, believe in yourself more. Do you need to just get mentally strong? Like the same way with your workouts. Do you guys have times in your workouts when you just want to give up? Because I do. I'm just like, oh, I've done 10 push-ups. I think, I'm not like Autumn has you doing push-ups for a minute. After 10, I'm like, my arms are on fire. I'm giving up. But I have to mentally be strong and be like, no, Vanessa, take a break. But then you can't give up. I have to mentally make myself stay in the game. And it's the same with belief in yourself. You have to mentally be like, this is going to take time and this is going to take work. Stay in the game. Keep at it. Grow a little bit more every day and trust that that's going to get you there. And so that's my encouragement to you guys is let's be fit physically and mentally at the same time. Let's have that belief. All right. So that is all.